What's going on, guys? Coming at you today with another video for Assassin's Creed Shadows. In this video, I'm going to be covering everything there currently is to know about the game. There's a lot to go over, so let's get into this. Assassin's Creed Shadows takes place in 1579. Very similar to Syndicate, the story focuses on two protagonists, each with their own uniqueness and perspective on the world around them. Yasuke is a samurai whose lord has died, which has caused him great shame. Naoe is a shinobi who's taken up the mantle of her father's legacy. Despite being from two very different worlds, the two eventually team up to face a radically changing Japan and work together to take down a shadow cabal of warlords who are manipulating the country's attempt at unification from within. Just a guess, but I'm gonna say Templars. Just like Odyssey and Valhalla, Shadows is an open-world action RPG. It has a rich story and a very deep customization system. Like always, the game has different options during conversations, and this time it can even play out in different ways depending on which character you choose in each situation. The map is huge and jam-packed with things to do and things to see, so you definitely won't get bored while exploring this absolutely gorgeous world. The graphics are top-notch and extremely polished. And this was 2 months ago, so it's probably even better looking now. The world is alive and feels very lived in. The NPCs are a lot more varied and out and about doing tons of different things as they go about their daily lives. Guards will even stop you and ask you to put your weapons away before entering towns and cities, a request that you can comply with or refuse. Complying will be greeted with a thank you and have you be on your way, while refusing will result in combat. Note that there is a wanted system in this game, so be mindful of that. Triggering the alarm will not only attract the enemies in the area, but also those in the entire region. You will be attacked on sight, and there will even be elite enforcers sent after you called Guardians. A little side note, you can kinda be cheeky with this. If you commit a crime with Naoe, you can just swap to Yasuke and vice versa, and the wanted will pause because you didn't commit the crime with the other one, so it's kind of a cheeky way to get around this. Just be careful, because if you're both wanted, you're kinda SOL. Mind you, again, this was 2 months ago, so that may have been changed. The map in this game is roughly the same size as Origins, which is the 4th largest in the entire franchise, so definitely plenty of area to explore. The viewpoints will show you key areas around the map like always, however this time it doesn't plaster a bunch of icons all over your map. This will show you a series of question marks tagged as unknown locations that you'll have to physically go to in order to discover what said thing is. The way the quests are set up play into this exploration system as well. Instead of a straight up icon that shows this guy's here, it gives you clues, and you have to go and investigate in order to find said person, place, or thing that you're looking for. There is a new system in Shadows that helps with this as well, called the Scout system. The Scout system will allow you to send out your scout to scout an area prior to your arrival to gather clues and information for you in order to narrow down the search. Note that using this system is completely optional, so don't worry if you prefer to do it the old-fashioned way and do all the exploration yourself. Throughout the map, you will find various activities to help occupy your time as well, such as praying at shrines, sketching wildlife, petting various animals around the world, a meditation minigame, horseback archery minigame, practicing your katas, and hidden trail grapple challenges. Shadows allows you to fully customize your experience. You can switch back and forth between both characters anytime you want while in the open world, and you get to choose who you play as during most missions, each with their own play style. This time around, they even included a special mode known as Canon Mode, which plays out like classic Assassin's Creed games.
I would have many questions for this man, if only he understood. I would have many questions for this man, if only he understood.
Lord Nobunaga, I do understand you.
Basically, it removes the conversation choice and plays the story out the way it was meant to be. This is a great way to handle it, in my opinion, because it gives players the best of both worlds. RPG fans can keep the choices and variety, while those that want a more classic, streamlined experience can stick to canon mode and let the story unfold. Full UI customization allows you to customize your playthrough experience. You can customize your controller layout as well to fit your personal playstyle. As for your appearance, you can change your look to any armor you previously unlocked, just like in Odyssey, though this time around it's been improved. Instead of just changing your weapon sword for sword, for example, you can now fully customize each part of your sword to create custom gear. And as always, you can upgrade your gear at the blacksmith back in your headquarters. One really cool new feature is that each weapon now has its own skill tree, each with its own perks and exclusive abilities. And of course, you have the samurai and assassin skill trees for Yasuke and Naoe, respectively. Engraving perks onto gear from Valhalla has made a comeback, which will allow for even more control over your build and playstyle. Though they did get rid of gear set stat bonuses from Valhalla, so you no longer have to sacrifice style for stats, or vice versa. Wear what you want and customize it to your liking. Easy peasy. Combat, stealth, parkour, and traversal have all been vastly improved in Shadows. Everything feels so fluid and crisp and is extremely polished. There is much more variety in the game than in past entries of the franchise. They incorporated a dodge and parry system that's crucial for landing critical blows and performing finishing moves. It feels like Assassin's Creed, but it also feels more fleshed out and reminds me a lot of Rise of the Ronin, which is very, very satisfying. This makes combat a lot more difficult to master and a lot more engaging than in the past. The group fights feel especially epic, as it's easy to get overwhelmed by sheer numbers, and for things to get out of hand very quickly. One of my absolute favorite things, of course, is the enhanced stealth, which borrows several features from Ubisoft's other stealth powerhouse, Splinter Cell. There is a new visibility meter that shows you how open or exposed you are. Darkness and shadows can now be used as cover, and taking out lights will help to that end, while also acting as a distraction or lure, like your whistle. Also, you can now go into a prone position, which will allow you to crawl under things, enter tight spaces, or hide in tall grass. Both characters can do both combat and stealth, though both have clear limitations. Yasuke is a great fighter and is capable of ambushing enemies, but because of his massive size, it makes more advanced stealth mechanics next to impossible. He does, however, have access to a bow and arrow for more silent kills, and also firearms like rifles when you don't really necessarily want to be silent. He can't free climb like Naoe can, and he can only climb certain things like walls if there's a box or a barrel for him to climb up on, kind of stair-like. And he isn't very, let's just say, graceful with his version of the leap of faith, but it is kind of hilarious to watch.
It is harder than it looks.
Naoe, on the other hand, is a skilled assassin with access to various assassin tools. Smoke bombs, noisemakers, kunai, shuriken, and the grappling hook, which can be used for climbing and swinging, but can also be used during combat to grab, pull, and whip enemies. She's very fast and agile, but relies heavily on parrying and dodging, because even one hit from an elite can absolutely decimate her health bar. So play strategically and plan ahead, or things will quickly get out of hand. Choose the best character for each situation. The game has environmental destruction that will allow you to destroy things around the world, like doors, walls, fences, barrels, boxes, stands, etc. You can even throw enemies or simply knock enemies into these items to inflict additional damage as well. The traversal in the game has been vastly improved as well. You can now perform flips and rolls both in and out of combat to traverse more quickly. And if you get the timing down, you can scale buildings and other objects both up and down very quickly without losing any momentum. It felt very fluid, very reminiscent of Unity, and it was very, very nice. Note that you can't straight scale walls or mountains anymore. Instead, you will need to wall run or find some leverage and then grapple to reach higher areas. This, of course, means that said high areas aren't really reachable with Yasuke, though many places such as viewpoints have stairs and or ladders that will allow Yasuke to climb them. So if you really want to play him, you still have options. Very reminiscent of Brotherhood, Shadows has allies that you can recruit that will fight beside you in battle. You can even call them in to assassinate enemies while stealthing. As you wander around the world, you'll come across different factions fighting each other. You can choose to either intervene or not. It's up to you. Though, they have said that some of your potential allies come from these encounters. There is dynamic weather and changing seasons in Shadows that can alter your gameplay experience, or further enhance it, depending on how you look at it. Rain and storm sounds can mask your movement. Leaving footprints in the snow can give away your position. Smacking icicles from rooftops can cause distractions, etc. There's also dynamic wind and environmental particles that will affect things like your arrows or kunai from flying straight, or fog that can hinder your invisibility altogether. The season changes themselves are tied to the story progression, but things like rain, wind, storms, and whatnot are constantly changing, just like the day-night cycle. This can affect your gameplay in various ways. Like if you're in an area that's calm and sunny, it feels one way, but will feel completely different in that same area if it's storming, raining, or foggy, for example. Keep in mind that these things that hinder you also hinder the enemy, so use that to your advantage. Very similar to Valhalla, Shadows has a hideout village that you can build. This village is fully customizable and upgradable. You get to choose what buildings go where and even what direction they face. You customize the floors, walls, and roofs, as well as what trees, plants, paths, altars, and shrines go around the buildings. It's very Sims, and it's very, very fun, what little bit we got to play with it. You can collect animals and place them in your village, and they will run around your settlement, and the wildlife sketches that you create can be displayed as well. As you recruit new characters, they will head over to your village and open shops, as well as offer side quests. As a whole, the game is fantastic, and if the entire game is as good as the early preview we got to play, Shadows will become one of the best in the franchise without question. I, for one, am very excited for the full release and look forward to your opinions on the game as well. Stay tuned for more videos regarding Assassin's Creed Shadows in the future, including my brutally honest review once it's released. That's it for this video all. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Later.